Hello, beautiful Bridget Rose Apothecary family. My name is Emily Marie. I am the creator over here at Bridget Rose Apothecary. If you are tuning in with me for the first time, welcome. If you are returning to Bridget Rose, welcome back. I am so excited to be here with you today to drop in to 2021's energy for you, receiving the most supportive messages for your highest good, for your soul growth during this year of 2021. There's been so much that has been coming through, and so I am, again, just so freaking excited to tune in, to tap in, to share what the energy of 2021 is bringing us. A lot of us might already be feeling the energy pretty heavily. And so, again, these messages that I am channeling, that I'm receiving and sharing for you, my intention is to receive and channel and share messages that are going to be the most supportive for your highest good, for your highest self, for your journey this year in 2021. So take what you resonate with, leave the rest. I am only here as that open-hearted channel to share with you. So before we dive into all of the messages here, I do have my notes and some notes, so I might be glancing down and looking at some things, so I will share that. If any outside noises come in, I do have two beagles. I do live in a house with other people, so allow those distractions to just come up and go. This is the human experience after all. With that being said, I am going to first, I have my tap in roller blend, one of my favorite blends to use myself as a creator, wild orange, rosemary, and peppermint. I have celestite crystals in here as well, and so I'm going to roll it just on my neck here, on my throat chakra. I already rubbed my heart connection, my heart chakra connection balm all over my chest. This has coconut oil in it too. And as I rub this on, I am going to just start some deep breaths so that I can tune in deeper to the messages that are desiring to come through, and to you and your energy on the other end, receiving end of this. Whenever you're watching this, wherever you're watching this. So I'm going to start here with the deep inhale in through my nose, and I invite you to join me if you feel like it. And an exhale through my mouth. Just relaxing my shoulders. Coming further into the energy of here and now, and taking another deep inhale in through my nose. And an exhale out of my mouth. And one more cycle. And maybe if you haven't, join me now with another deep inhale in through our nose. Full exhale out of our mouth. Again, allowing those shoulders to drop, allowing your heart to open. So that not only you're hearing what I'm saying and receiving it that way, but your body's relaxed, your heart is open, and you're allowing yourself to receive in all ways. And that is a beautiful way to start off this video, because listening to our body, tuning into our body is a major theme of 2021, of the energy we got going on, honoring our body, nourishing our body. And I think I'm starting with this message because this is, especially in January, might be really present for a lot of us as we are in Capricorn season, which is all about the earth. And then as we are also starting to tune into Aquarius season, And if we are familiar, we also just shifted into the age of Aquarius as we had the great conjunction of Saturn and Jupiter on December 21st. So, what the fuck does all of this mean? Aquarius, or I should say Capricorn again, is an earth sign, so we might be feeling a lot about our body, a lot coming up around our body this month, especially with New Year's. A lot of talk about New Year's resolutions. I know for me, I've been really triggered by a lot of body image things because in the past, all of my resolutions of the New Year's have been about losing weight and going on diets and restricting myself and not necessarily loving on my body, but restricting myself from what my body needs and what my body wants. And so however you might resonate with that, whatever comes up for you, there's energy from the past that's lingering right now. And bringing our awareness to Aquarius, Aquarian energy is an air energy. And we're going to be feeling that heavy in January because January holds Aquarius season, but also we just shifted into the age of Aquarius. Don't quote me on how many years we just shifted into the age of Aquarius for, but it's a significant amount of time here. And so with all of this being said, looping back to the importance of tuning into our body, of listening to our body. Aquarius being an air sign, air, the element of air rules our mind, our mental space. And so we are really moving through a time where we are going to have a lot of great ideas. We're going to have a lot of inspirations. We're going to have a lot of downloads. Our mind is going to be really, really active, and only increased by this Aquarian energy. And so with that being said, we might get stuck in our head with all of this air energy going on. And it's going to be more prone for us, especially in this next year, to get really stuck in our head and get really, and it might not even be the mind, it might be the spiritual. So feeling out of your body, receiving those downloads, but not being able to ground all of those, channeled messages you're receiving down into your body. And that is because of this intensity, again, of this air quality coming in. So how do we alchemize that? How do we ground down? How do we receive? We really tune into our physical body. We take care of our physical body. We ground down to our physical body. We take the time to breathe. We take the time to relax our shoulders. We take the time to open our heart. And when we do that, the mind is given space to slow down. The mind is given space to relax because the focus comes off of what's going on in the mind, and comes back down into the body, giving us a chance to hold space for, okay, I understand that, I'm feeling anxious, I'm feeling overwhelmed. And in this present moment, it's not really going to serve me to just go back to my mind and keep tripping about what's coming up or keep, just going on and on and on in my mind, creating more anxiety, more overwhelm. What's going to serve me is, slowing down and taking the time to, maybe clear out my head, step away from what I'm doing right now. And again, shake some things up, create a change that is going to allow you to shift deeper into your body, deeper into presence, deeper into more awareness. So, we're about 10 minutes in here. And with that being said, there's so much more that wants to come through. I haven't even shared yet what 2021, really this year, it's just one little aspect. So with all of that being said, I am going to go straight into, again, going off of the importance of tuning into our body and why it's going to be so important to be grounded in our body, being in the present moment, being in this peaceful state, being able to receive being able to, again, just this presence and peace so that we can be fully aware and show up in the moment is going to be so important through the year of 2021. So why not start right here, right now, in the first days of January, right? No, there's no rush to get all of the things done that might be coming through. And this is kind of going off in a tangent, but it's coming through for someone. There's no rush to get all of the things coming through that you're downloading, that you're receiving. You have so many ideas. There's no rush to get all of that done right now. We are literally in month number 1 of this new year. And it can seem like you have to have all of the plans created. It can seem like you have to know how everything's going to get done, but there's literally no rush. You're receiving all of the things, especially if you're a creative. I know a lot of you watching this are, if you resonate with being a starseed, a light worker, if you have your own, soulpreneur business, and you know who I'm talking to, but this really can relate to anybody. But with so much coming through, it doesn't all have to get done right now. I want you to kind of be able to flip your perspective. I invite you to flip your perspective and start to realize that all of the things coming through is kind of like all of the different timelines available to you over this next year. And not saying that you have to take all of the steps right now to get all of those timelines done. Think of this right now. We are in month number 1 of this 9-month birth process. And I've said this before in recordings that I've done, but if this is your first time listening to this, think of, creation. We create a baby. The feminine process of birth is this 9-month process. And so to grow a healthy, beautiful baby with all of its limbs, everything functioning, right? We need a full 9 months and maybe even longer. And so we're in month number 1 of this 9-month process. So think all the way to September, how fucking different life is going to be. How many of those timelines that you're tapping into that you are going to live, that you are going to play out. But it's going to take time. It's going to take different opportunities and experiences and different magic from the universe to drop in until then. So right now in month number 1, we are literally at the beginning steps of this 9-month birth process. So be patient with yourself. Take time for yourself to understand what is coming through for you, not so you can put it all into pockets and this is going to happen then, and this is going to happen then, and this is going to happen then. No. So you can sit and receive this abundance that you are opening to, all of these different new opportunities, and it's coming through to you for a reason. So that you can tune into this trust that this year truly is going to be full of so much abundance, so much new. This year is going to be full of so much abundance. So get ready to receive whatever abundance means for you. And maybe that's actually a great journal prompt for you. To rewrite, what does abundance mean for you? It doesn't necessarily mean to mean money, unless that's what you're calling in. And I guess we all are calling in that material money abundance, but an abundance of growth, an abundance of clarity, an abundance of opportunities, an abundance of new experiences, an abundance of new friends, an abundance of new connections of community. Whatever abundance means for you, I want to say label that for yourself. Label's not the right word, but understand what that abundance means for you so that you can get clearer on all of these, things that are coming through, all of these ideas, all of these just experiences that you're receiving right now. When you kind of give a place, a label for all of those things, for your abundance to flow, that energy is going to start to work itself out behind the scenes, where it's going to play out and lay out in your favor across this year. And I know that was a little confusing, but I also know a lot of you resonated with that in your own ways. So I'm going to leave it as it is. It came through as it needed to be. But knowing, really wrapping that message up, so much abundance is coming for you this year. And not to trip up that you don't have it all right now, and that all of these things that you're feeling into, these plans, these big grand visions that you're seeing yourself in, that they're not happening right now. That's okay, because this is literally month number 1 in this big 9-month process. In this 9-month process of whatever you are growing, whatever you are incubating this year. This new person, right? Think of just yourself in 9 months, and what a different person you will be. Start to create that container for that, and know again that all of the things that you are receiving right now are going to play out, not necessarily in the way that you're receiving them. So that's why it's important not to get attached to all of the things that we're taking in right now, but to really more be aware of what feels good for us, what we want, what we desire, and realizing what is out of alignment with that, and then taking the steps necessary to change those things that are out of alignment, that are out of balance. And it might not be easy. Those things that we know we need to change, but we're resistant to changing, those things that we know are holding us back, those ways that we're comfortable in, those ways that feel good to us, but again, we know are holding us back from growth. Those are the things that we are being called to shift out of this year, to really learn about ourselves. So this is going into the year of 2021, right? What is this year about? 2021 is a universal 5 year. 2 + 2 + 1 is 5. And so this energy is all about change. This energy is all about learning about ourselves, being open to new perspectives about ourselves, so that we can stay open to expansion and change versus staying stuck in the resistance, the comforts that we know work for us, but also we might be hiding in, that we also know deep down are keeping us small. And so 2021 is such an important year, kind of piggybacking off 2020, which was a 4 year, which was all about foundation, which was all about like hard lessons, right? All about a lot of our foundations collectively, individually, have been shaken up. We learned a lot of hard lessons where we started to build on these new foundations at the end of 2020. I should say maybe we've started to build, but really in 2021 is the building year. That's what 5 is all about. Change is all about building, is all about growing, is all about expanding. So expanding on the lessons that we picked up in 2020 and really starting to implement these changes, especially the areas where, okay, you started to make those surface level changes in 2020, and now your highest self is calling you out, being like, let's rise up. We got this. We are going to have such an abundant year. We are going to receive so much abundance because your soul, your human, is in co-creation. They're working together to receive that, because you're not just a soul, you are a human. You have a human body here, but you have that radiant spirit, that highest self energy that is always guiding you, that intuition, your open heart that is always receiving messages for you that are for your highest good. And this is the year we received a lot of the lessons for our highest self to thrive in 2020. But there was also so much uncertainty that we were just like still moving, still receiving, still shaken. And I know you guys know what I mean. And so 2021 really is about implementing these these lessons that we learn, making the changes we need necessary to live the life that we freaking desire. And it's not going to be easy. A lot of these changes that we're making are around deeper rooted ways of living, just ways that we've been pretty comfy in for a while. So if you're, sitting here, maybe pause and just grab a notebook, and if anything's coming to mind, just write it down. But what are those ways that you felt pretty comfortable in? Because 2021, they're about to be shaken up. What are those ways that you've been denying yourself pleasure, where you've been denying yourself what you want? Universe, God, source, however you resonate, is not going to let you escape that pleasure, that abundance. You are going to receive it in some type of way this year. And if you're open to receiving, to make the changes, and you show up to make the changes each and every day, it's, it's still life. We're still going to be in the ebbs and flows. We're still going to hit our challenges, but it's going to feel easier than resisting showing up to create the changes. And so going back to learning about ourselves and being open to these new perspectives about ourselves, it's going to be so important going into this next year. Because it's constant change, it's constant growth. And what fuels that constant change and constant growth is new perspective, is staying open, is learning new things, and especially about yourself, so that you can kind of hack the way that you show up for yourself. It's not about hacking the way, so that you can really know how to show up for yourself mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, what you need in every area to thrive. And it's not just about knowing what you need in every area. It's about actually giving yourself what you need in every area. And if you're sitting here like, how do I do that? Sit with this. You don't need to have an answer right away. But I invite you, I challenge you to really check in and ask, what does my highest self need? What does my human need from my highest self? What knowledge, what wisdom, mentally, physically, emotionally, and the meditation that I actually have for you guys is activated towards that. One of the meditations in your box as well. But really tuning in and asking that part of you, what do you need to show up and thrive? What is going to support you mentally, physically, emotionally? Checking in as many times as you need in a day. And then checking in and making the necessary steps to actually give yourself that. 2021 is going to be all about focus, staying focused on creating these necessary changes in your life, because so much coming through. I'm going to take a deep breath. But 2021 is all about slowing down, showing up to create those necessary changes in your life that are going to set you up for success, even if that means temporary sacrifice. Mentally, physically, emotionally, what does that mean? When I say emotionally, what comes up, it's about getting to know yourself, especially your emotional self, if you haven't already. But that self on every single level, understanding that, and I can't just say emotionally, but emotions are going to be such a guide in 2021, as they always are, that your vulnerability, those emotions are going to be desiring to be expressed, to be heard, to be shared in 2021, finding those safe spaces, those communities that you feel safe and supported in, that is going to be medicine for you in 2021, to be able to come there, to share your truth, to share your emotions, to share what's real for you, for what is going on, what you're moving through, what you're going through, what you're shifting through, because we are going to be feeling so much growth, and we are going to be feeling this need to share with like-minded people, to be heard, to be seen, and that's just a fucking human need. And so to give that to ourselves, it's going to be supportive to find those spaces that you feel safe and supported in to do so. So that's a huge message of 2021, the community, and really, again, finding those people that, we're all shifting through the same thing. Being able to find those communities, giving your energy to those places. And it might be scary because it might be new places. You might have to go outside of your comfort zone to find those places. However, that is going to serve your growth fucking 10 times versus giving your energy to people in your life that do not reciprocate, that only are there to tell you what you're doing wrong, that are only there to judge you, that are only there to tell you, well, you should be doing this and this and this. And y'all know what I mean. Those relationships, it is time to cut them out in the most unconditional, loving, compassionate way that you can. Maybe it means distancing yourself for a minute. Maybe it means filtering yourself, not being so transparent in what you are sharing, because your energy is so valuable. It does not deserve to be shared with every single person in the room, because every single person in the room is not there to receive you. Some of those people are going to be so stuck in their ways, especially in 2021. This is going to be so present and so prevalent that it's like we can't just waste our energy anymore in areas that do not serve us, and people that do not serve us, and environments that do not serve us. It's going to be crucial to find those spaces, those places, those peoples, those beliefs, those things that you can align with, versus wasting your energy anywhere else. When you align to the energy that feels good for you, especially this next year, you are going to feel, and especially if you're watching this is a fucking activation in itself, but especially in 2021, you are going to feel such a density choosing outside of what is aligned for you, choosing outside of what does not light you up. There's going to be this like thick resistance, this thick that comes up in 2021 for you, and it's not going to feel good. And I'm sure I'm going to go through it. I'm not saying like I'm exempt to it, because again, we are all human, we are all experiencing. When we are in those ebbs, those are the moments where we are being called to nourish ourselves, to nurture ourselves, to slow the F down, to tune back into our body, back into our heart space, back into our highest self energy, which is that heart space. That's how it comes through for me. That heart is that portal to connect to your highest self. And when you're going through all of the shifts and all of the changes and all of the things, and you feel like, you're not keeping up or you're not doing it right, whatever that is, it's a call to slow down, to come back to the present moment, and to give yourself what you need in that moment to create the alchemy, to create the change then and there, instead of sitting in the resistance for such a long time. That is what 2021 is going to be about, y'all. There's so much change, so much of that transformation, so much alchemy to be had. Shadow integration, becoming besties with that shadow. We've been doing so much of that in 2020, and I know a lot of you have, but really honoring both sides of us, all pieces of us, our multidimensionality, our shadow and our light and our dark. The anger, the frustration, the resentment, the sadness, any of the lower vibration emotions within you, holding space for those pieces of you, knowing that those guide you back home to your heart, to your light, to your highest self 10 times, knowing how much power that your lower vibrational energies, those shadows, those ebbs, knowing how much power those spaces have for you, and being willing to be open and flexible as you move through those, because again, with so much change comes inevitable life, death, rebirth, that death creates that change, which can lead to that darkness piece, right? That void where it's like so uncertain. We're like, what is going on? But as we trust, as we nurture ourselves, as we show ourselves compassion and unconditional love and anchor deeper into nothing is wrong, this is only a part of the process. This comes with change. This is inevitable with change. Things have to fall apart to come together. You know, we have to go through a bit of darkness, but it's about finding the safety, comfort, yes, but safety in the shadow as well, not running away from it anymore, which I think in the beginning when I was talking just about emotions and like emotionally, that's going to be so important this year, is to be able to give those things you don't want to fucking talk about, to be able to give those a voice and to start to share those things and to not allow those to be so dense in your field anymore. Allow them to move through expression, allow them to move, whatever that might mean for you. And so many messages. I am gonna take a look down here, going off of the expression piece, the year of the 5, right? 5 is going to be such a crucial number. And so I am going to be sharing some things here that go along with the 5 energy and what this kind of bringing your awareness to those things and how they may be able to support you this year. So with that being said, going off the throat chakra is the 5th chakra. So this expression piece is going to be crucial this year. This piece of expression, this piece of sharing our truth, this piece of speaking our truth, this piece of speaking especially our emotions and what those mean for us, being able to get it all out instead of keep it all in, because that's going to create more balance. Being able to speak and kind of instead of like keeping what you have inside in. I feel like when you keep it inside, right, you just add more, you add more, you add more, you add more. It's so much density, as opposed to, you know, holding it in and then sharing. There's like this balance, right? So that's what's coming through when I share that. But that is why expression is going to be so crucial this year. So how can you activate your throat chakra? How can you speak more, share more of your story? Anything like that, because your story, you yourself are so magical. You have so much wisdom. Your specific story holds so much medicine for you yourself and someone else. We all go through so much of the same shit we don't even know. We really move through so many of the same similar experiences. So looping back to that community piece, finding places where you can share what you're going through, what you can speak, what you're going through. And then really, I invite you this year to push your edges as a leader with your voice, and this is going to resonate with a lot of you in here, which is why I'm sharing that. So as a leader with your story, with your medicine, with whatever you're creating, how can you really start to speak that out into the world, share your expression with the world, and in an embodied way, being able to be embodied in our medicine, which means being able to move through the lessons ourselves first and foremost and share from a grounded place. So I invite you this year to slow down and to ask yourself, are you sharing from just this place of the mind, of the mental, of like the go, 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 I have to get this out because I have to be heard this certain way, I have to be seen this certain way. If I don't get this out, I'm going to fall behind, blah, blah, blah. Like whatever that, however you resonate with that, I ask you instead of putting things out from that rush space of like, I just have to do it, I just have to get it done, I just have to do that. Really take your time and what are you putting out into the world? Why are you putting this out into the world? Because it feels good for you, because you've moved through it. And so that's coming through pretty clearly for whoever wants to whoever does resonate with that, whoever wants to walk away with that. But being so embodied in your medicine this year, if we are just, again, thinking about, well, speaking is another thing, but thinking, right? Thinking about and speaking, if that's the only thing and we're not taking the actual action behind what we're saying, what we're thinking, that's where that disembodiment's going to be. That's where that disconnection's going to be. So that's where this action piece too in 2021 is going to be so crucial. 2021 is a masculine energy. So call on that divine masculine to support you, to show up, to make the changes necessary. Number one, to, step outside of your comfort zone, maybe to express yourself, whatever that is, the changes necessary to find the new communities that you're aligning with, the changes necessary to support yourself in creating the life that you desire to live. So for example, for me, going to, I should say this is like big for everybody. It's not just for me, because 2021 is all about health and wellness as well. So making this year, especially showing up for our health, ourself, our body, this physical body on a different level than we ever have before, truly showing up to nourish this physical human self so that we can thrive in every other aspect of our life. The gut-brain connection is really big this year. However, again, you resonate with that, take that away for yourself. But showing up to make those uncomfortable changes in your life, that is going to set you up to thrive in all areas of your life, especially in health and wellness, which is what I was going to say is my example, because right now, I'm going through the uncomfy changes of waking up a little earlier to get a full workout in before my day starts. Why do I do that? Because my mental health fucking suffers if I do not move my body. And so it's kind of like, yeah, okay, I'm forcing myself. It's this new type of discipline that I'm implementing into my, day-to-day, my human life. And temporarily it's going to suck. This sacrifice of, a little, it's not even less sleep because I'm going to sleep a little earlier on the back end. It's just making those necessary changes to show up for yourself, your human self, making these necessary changes so you can open up your energy to house more of your soul, your spirit, your highest self energy, so that you can embody more of that highest self, show up as him, her, they, whomever in your day-to-day in every moment, and radiate that energy versus being stuck, versus feeling like you're stuck in that survival mode. It's time to get out of survival mode this year. 2021 is about building structure and stability. If there is a word that you could take away from 2021, from this especially, there's all of the words I said already, right? But the word of stability, creating stability this year. We are going to experience so much change. When things change, it's easy to get swept up in the chaos of things changing. So we are really being called to slow down, to create the stability necessary to keep up with the things changing. So again, creating the routines, the new routines, the new rituals, the new structures in your day to day that are really going to support you in creating this stability, this feeling of groundedness in your day to day so that you can thrive as your highest self versus running around and feeling like you're surviving as your 75% self, whatever that is, however you resonate with that. But those are huge messages of 2021. And so I'm really grateful that's how they came through. Having the patience with yourself this year as you move through the changes, because when we create new habits, when we create new ways of living, when we start to show up for ourselves differently, it's not fucking easy in the beginning. It really is hard to create a new way of living, to stay focused day after day. Because as the human, when we can't see the results right away and like, well, I'm creating the changes, so why isn't the thing switching with me externally, I've learned that things have to shift internally, energetically, before they really shift externally. And so having the patience with yourself as you move through your own processes of this year, as you move through building this new stability, this new way of showing up for yourself. And I'm going to let you know, like I said in the beginning, we just moved into the age of Aquarius. And so we're really feeling the shift of this newness in showing up in new ways of living as opposed to what was working in the past and what's coming through, like the ways that we did show up in the past. A lot of those ways are not going to make it through 2021, through this year at all, because of how quickly just the universe collectively we are shifting. So really being open to embracing change, opening your perspective this year is going to support you in moving through all of the things. Another huge theme of this year is that personal freedom. So creating the structure, the stability in your life so that you can receive whatever this personal freedom means for you. But that's going to be a huge theme of 2021 of this year. So truly showing up and taking the actual human steps necessary to give yourself what you need to create this sense of freedom, this external sense of freedom, the abundance needed to create that. But first, that freedom is found internally. So making those necessary changes mentally, emotionally, as you show up in the physical, it's all such a working process this year. And so that's why it's going to take so much focus to keep showing up to those changes, this consistency, this accountability. And so a lot of these things, and even like I'm like sitting here, I'm like, ew, a lot of this sounds really masculine and really like boundaries and change this and change that and discipline. And like, yes, absolutely. Because those are the things necessary to give that freedom a place to thrive, to give that feminine creativity a place to just live and go wild. And so it really is going to be an interesting balance this year of understanding, and 2020 was an entire process of understanding our masculine and feminine energies and what that really means to us. But 2021 is going to be about truly implementing those changes in your life and like taking the actions necessary to bring awareness, first and foremost, to your masculine, feminine energy, but to find more of that balance between both energies, where yes, you are creating more discipline and more of that structure in your life, more of the accountability, consistency in your day-to-day routines, especially when it comes to showing up for your body, because that is going to set you free when it comes to being clear, being able to follow your intuition, and being able to give yourself what you need, because it's not always going to be like, do this, discipline. Like giving yourself what you need and being disciplined can know like, well, I need play, like that being able to know that your structure, keeping that balance in your day, being able to know like, okay, well, I'm going to show up to, my workout in the morning, but after my workout, I meditate, I journal, I dance, I sink into my feminine energy, and I'm nurturing both pieces of myself. I'm nurturing my body as I show up to my workout. So even though it's like slightly sucks to wake up that early and work out, it also nourishes the fuck out of my feminine energy for me to be able to show up presently and create. So I hope all of that really made sense and connected for you, because it's a huge message of this year. And with that being said, my leg is falling asleep. But I am going to read you 2 cards here. The wisdom of the divine feminine, wisdom of the divine masculine, because I think that they are so beneficial and again, supportive in allowing us to become aware of what this energy even means and what you might be moving through right now. And again, always coming back to tune into this message for this type of balance that we are and stability that we're going to be finding in our masculine and feminine energies this year. So with that being said, I am going to read that. I also am realizing in this moment that I went off the throat chakra because I got so into a message and, wrapped all the way up in that, that I forgot to mention how important the sacral chakra is going to be this year. How important nurturing our body is going to be, connecting to that creativity, connecting to our passions. And so really being able to use our and creating to our sensuality, our sexuality, which goes hand in hand with connecting to our body, but really being able, again, to express our passions, our desires, our creativity, connecting our sacral, our throat. And so I did not want to forget that. Going along with that, the colors of this year are going to be blue and orange. And so those are going to be really supportive colors to work with this year. So I did not want to forget that before I tuned into another message here. So thank you for following along. So I'm going to start with wisdom of the divine feminine here. So divine feminine wisdom empowers you to grow into your vision, your dreams, and the fulfillment of your life purpose. Perhaps you envision a very different life for yourself to what you are experiencing now. This wisdom reminds you that you can experience even the most extraordinary dreams as a reality if you are willing to grow into what you desire, to become what you seek. Surrender any plans about how you can best manifest your dreams and instead allow life to guide and nourish you through your experiences each day. The universe supports your divine destiny and is helping you become all you are meant to be. When the wisdom of the divine feminine reaches for you, the message is clear. You are in a process of becoming more of heaven on earth. Sometimes there are growing pains alongside the joy such growth brings. You may feel concerned, thinking your pain is an indication that you are failing in some way. You may judge your suffering as a sign that you are not operating at a high enough frequency. Yet how many spiritual masters upon this planet have endured great suffering as well as experiencing tremendous love and joy in the fulfillment of their divine destiny. Growing pains are just a part of the feminine path of creation, of breaking through what has become too small for you. There is joy in the eventual freedom, but the act of breaking through can feel painful at times. And so what's coming through, just to share in that message too, is to follow along with the moon cycles this year. If you are familiar with that, I invite you to tune deeper into that. If you're not familiar with the moon cycles, I invite you to get familiar with the moon cycles. That is going to allow you to really understand your process of creation on an even deeper level. So that's what's coming through. When things are difficult or you are feeling doubt, when you feel the need to do something that scares you and challenges you at the depths of your being, you are experiencing growing pains. They will pass and you will benefit from the growth. However, you need to know that whilst this difficulty in your life, the divine is very much with you, encouraging you, believing in you so much that it will deliver you a tough lesson. You can handle it for however long it needs to continue, and that won't be forever. So take that into this year because there is going to be so much growth. The divine feminine speaks to you now and promises that if you are willing to show up to your life each day and trust in the circumstances before you, she will guide you into your most beautiful divine destiny. It is safe to trust her. She wants for you only the best and the most beautiful life journey, one perfectly suited for all that you are and all that you can be. Your heart beats in perfect rhythm with the heart of love at the center of the universe. Trust your heart and trust life. All is progressing beautifully as you are guided ever deeper into your divine fulfillment. So go back, listen to that again if you need to, but so much juicy wisdom in that for our 2021, for really understanding the wisdom of the divine feminine and how she can really support us in understanding the growth cycles that this year is going to bring. The next card is the power of the divine masculine. So the power of the divine masculine. An empowering energy seeks expression from within. It wishes to free you from confusion, paralysis, and stagnancy. It seeks to stir you into consciously chosen action, greater discipline and focus. It's time to end the frustration of repeating old patterns. You are ready to break through into a new way of life. Feel inspired, be energized, and focus on your dreams and desires. Take steps to manifest them on the physical plane. Believe your success is inevitable. It's about bringing the 5D into the 3D, bringing your highest self into your body this year, making your dreams a reality, being able to co-create with both energies, having the discipline to show up however you need to so that you can do that, so that you can create this connection between your highest self, your human, so that they can work together for you. Oh, I love it. The divine masculine in you knows when to accept and when to say no to a belief, fear, habit, person, or situation. This divine masculine energy exists within all men and women. It rallies the spirit and responds in times when you may feel drained, taken advantage of, or overwhelmed by too many choices and demands. It cuts through the confusion that comes with choice and priority setting. It refuses to be distracted and keeps you from being dissuaded from your life purpose. The divine masculine is growing within you now. It is the spiritual light that reveals the truth without filters or veils. Let this energy clear distractions, demands, and drama from your life. Let it help you discern what is best for you and give you the courage to act on it. Let it help you sort out what is true from what is illusion. Let it help you dedicate your time and energy to what has the most meaning for you. It will empower you to claim success in what matters most to you. The divine masculine overcomes procrastination. It acts again and again in accordance with the heart. Divine masculine energy empowers each leading light to lovingly assert him or herself in the world. It supports us in standing up for what has meaning to the heart, whilst lovingly but firmly saying no when we need to do so. Do not minimize your inner divine masculine, whether you be man or woman, nourish it. However, if your masculine energy has been trapped in the wounds of your ancestors, he may demand absolute perfection before you believe you are worthy of love. He may even be violent towards you, perhaps keeping you from saying no to violent relationships or self-harming through over-exercising, denying your body good nutrition or rest, or by ignoring your feelings, vulnerabilities, and intuitive wisdoms. He may need healing from your inner divine feminine to feel loved, valuable, worthy, needed, and respected. Let him become strong in you. Learn to trust this part of yourself. He can be your guide, protector, defender. Trust when he says no to something or someone. Trust when he says you are ready for this and encourages you to act. As you trust in him, you will trust yourself to be visible. Your inner divine masculine will help you shine your light without fear so others can find their way through darkness to love. So those two cards are so beautiful, literally wrapping up the energy of how we can really nourish ourselves through this year. So really understanding our masculine and feminine, obviously understanding that energy is so crucial, but really I hope those cards gave such a beautiful understanding of kind of being able to navigate that energy and what you can give yourself this year to move through feeling more ease. I'm not saying it's going to be easy all the time, but feeling more ease as you go through all of it. And then I love that this power of the divine masculine reminded me about these cards sitting in front of me, because I pulled them all three together and it just clicked. I was like, this is kind of the key message for 2021, being able to shift through, and I thought it was really cool. So balance, 2021, finding that balance between our masculine or feminine. I love that, the pink and the blue, the light and the dark, right, being able to find that balance, that dance between our darkness, our shadow, I should say, our light, and all of it. So 2021 is finding that balance within, because our perception creates our reality. So if we are perceiving ourselves and we're really feeling that balance, we're going to start to feel that play out in our reality. And again, as things are changing, as things are moving at a pretty quick pace, because this year is going to feel like it's going to fly by, finding more of that balance through the quickness is going to help us stay grounded versus being caught up in all of the change. And so the next card is courage, taking, those steps necessary. It might take a lot of courage. I love this card too, because it's such a reflection of the masculine and feminine energy here. But opening our heart, taking those, they might be scary steps, but opening our heart, finding the courage to take the steps necessary to create the stability, the structures, again, those things that are going to give us what we desire. And I know for me, that personal freedom piece is really big this year. And so knowing too that as you bump up against anything that you might be fearful of, you have courage, you're bringing courage to the party, but truly know that you have the alchemy within you to show up, to create, to alchemize, to change, to shift then and there. You don't have to stay stuck. You can move through with ease, with more knowing, with more trust, with more love, with more compassion. And that's going to help you find that balance once more. That's going to help you come into alignment once more. That's going to help you to really anchor into that union once more, versus staying stuck in one place. Because if we feel stuck this year, we're going to be feeling really stuck, since the energy that it is bringing is that change, is that movement. So finding the courage to show up and truly knowing that we hold the power, that alchemy within. It comes within first. We can't find that from anywhere else. And so getting to know ourselves on every type of level that it takes to really know these pieces of us, and knowing that our emotions are a huge piece of that alchemy. The way that we show up to our emotions this year, the way we respond, the way we versus the way we react, getting to know our emotions. That's just such a big message that keeps coming through, that pops through. So whoever is there listening, just getting to know that emotional side of yourself, nurturing this emotional side of yourself. Your emotions are your superpower. So that's a huge message that just, again, keeps coming. My kind of last message here before I wrap everything up is for 2021, if I hadn't shared it already, but really is the importance of self-care, the importance of taking care of this physical human body, the importance of putting all of the to-dos aside and showing up to take care of us. It's not selfish to take care of you. It is not selfish to create space and time to connect with yourself, to get to know yourself. 2021, the key code truly is self-care, and creating that space to make sure that you are taken care of, that you do feel nourished, that you are giving yourself what you need, so that you can show up to embracing the changes needed, so that you can show up in your light. And as you show up and you radiate in your light and you embrace those changes, you give permission to so many other people around you to do the same. And as you do that, as you show up to take care of yourself, as you show up to create that change in your life, that is just a ripple effect that creates that collective shift. And so I wanted to make sure that I shared that, the importance of self-care. So with all of that being said, I feel like I have shared, I am coming to a completeness with what I have shared with you today. So I will leave you with that for this 2021 outlook, for the energy that I've been picking up. I am so grateful that you were here, that you tuned in with me, that you were here and open to receive. Thank you so, so much. It truly does mean the world. And yeah, I would love to maybe end this with a deep breath, and then I'll tune into one last message, but that will be it. So maybe taking a deep inhale in through your nose and a full exhale out of your mouth. All I'm hearing that 2021 is your year as you stay open and embrace the changes that come your way. You will feel that flow. You will receive that abundance. You will tap into that success that you already know is coming for you. So thank you again for tuning in. I am sending you so much love. If you resonated with any of these messages, hit me up in the comment section on YouTube, send me an email, send me a DM. I am here to keep sharing the messages that come through and to support you through 2021 with these messages, with the Bridget Rose, the actual physical ritual tools. And that's just such a beautiful example, right? Taking the actual messages and having those actual physical products to support us in receiving and moving through what we're moving through, which is, I'm just really grateful because that's a huge value of Bridget Rose's embodiment. So I am here. Bridget Rose is here to support you through your 2021. And yes, I am sending you so much love. Until next time, Bridget Rose family.